Good afternoon, relatives. Many of you may know him, but he is someone I highly respect and someone who I have learned something very important from. His name is Fred Hampton. He was a revolutionary. He was a member of the Black Panther Party, and he was assassinated by what he called the pigs. He was only 21 years old. What I learned from Chairman Fred, and the reason why he was killed, is because he was a revolutionary. But more importantly, what he taught me was that I am a revolutionary. And what does that mean? What does it mean to be revolutionary and working class? Well, what Hampton has an experience as a black man, and as his teacher Karl Marx understood, was that all of us in this room who make up the sector known in society as the working class. So what role do we play? What role do we play in society? To understand this from a Marxist perspective is to understand our potential as revolutionaries in this society that we call capitalism. And the first step to breaking free from the chains of oppression that keep us in bondage. Karl Marx helped us to understand that under the system of capitalism, we are considered wage slaves. But when we think of the institution of slavery, that rotten, oppressive, violent system, we think of Africans toiling in the sun in the deep south of the United States. But we forget to realize is that there are Mexican migrant workers who break their backs for hours in the agricultural fields of California so that we can eat and the capitalists can profit off their labor. But we must think of the worker in the field, because even though that worker is getting paid, he or she is still a wage slave to the system of capitalism. What if that worker has a grievance? Can he go to his boss or can she go to her boss to complain? No, because that worker can be fired or can be deported. So workers live in constant fear of not being able to feed their families or pay their rent. And this is what we call wage slavery. When you are held captive in a system that seeks to exploit you to maximize its profits. But as Frederick Douglass and other former slaves understood, that system of slavery cannot be reformed. And to end the suffering, we must destroy that system. And we must replace that system with a just system that is controlled by us, by the people, to meet the needs of the community and the planet. But the only way we can accomplish this goal is to organize, brothers and sisters. And Marxism teaches us that the only way workers can cease to be exploited is for us to understand our position in society as a working class, or else we will continue to be exploited and oppressed. Have you ever wondered what would happen if you didn't go to work one day? Well, depending on where you work, the outcome may vary. But what if all the workers didn't go to work one day? And for several days, the store, the office, the restaurant, the hotel, the school, the hospital would immediately be shut down. And the bosses fear this the most. Because one, they would lose profit, and for two, they would realize that we've become organized. This recently happened in Oakland when they called for a general strike. They shut down the port of Oakland. But what if all the workers in the United States went on strike? The entire country would stop. It would stop in its tracks and bring the capitalists to their knees. And of course, the capitalists fear this the most, because they know if we are organized, we can claim our rightful place in society and discard the outdated system of capitalism. But we can only do that if we are organized. And to do that, we need to build a revolutionary party. We need to build solidarity. We need class consciousness in order to destroy the lines that divide us. This is where a revolutionary Marxist party, or the Party for Socialism and Liberation, comes in. As professional revolutionaries, we use Marxism to organize, not as a dogma nor a philosophy in the traditional sense, but as a guide in our decisions for real actions on the ground, in the streets, in the schools, and in our workplaces. In the year 2011 and the coming years, we are faced with several challenges and struggles to free ourselves from this oppression and exploitation. We have the presidential election in 2012, where many of us will be confused and decide whether we should vote for a Democrat or Republican. We have the Occupy Wall Street movement, or Occupy LA, or Occupy San Diego. We have liberals, we have conservatives, capitalists and their supporters, but we also have our strength as workers. And those that tell us we can't do it, we look at them in the face and we say, look at history. And we know it is possible, and we know it is necessary. They tell us that racism is too strong, or that people are too apathetic, or that young people don't care. But I say, look at the room. Look at the people in this room. Look at the people next to you. There are young people. There are black people. There are brown people. There are several different groups of people in this classroom that represent different roles in society. And so this multinational audience that believes that another world is possible and that we will engage in actions when we know because there is hope, we are here to tell you that we can win and that we will win. If Fidel, Camilo, Che, and other revolutionaries would have given up when their ship wrecked off the coast of Cuba, they never would have defeated Bautista. If the youth workers in Egypt would have given up when the military came in with their tanks and their guns, Mubarak would still be in office today. And if the workers in this country would have given up when the pigs came in with their batons and started smashing our heads in the Occupy Wall Street movement, we would have went home already, but we haven't. We've stayed there, and we've continued to occupy, and we continue to listen, and we continue to learn. So nothing in the society can stop us, not racism, not sexism, not the police, and surely not the capitalists. So I say to you, sisters and brothers, join the working class revolution, join the PSL, and long live Fred Hampton and all other revolutionaries who made it possible for us to be here today. Thank you.